The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Environment Department and the Philippine Coast Guard inspected Manila Bay today to check on wastewater disposal of sea vessels. Shaila Francisco now joins us live from Manila Bay to tell us more about this. Shaila, what were the initial findings?
Charles, the two agencies found violations in the environmental compliance of some sea vessels in Navotas and Manila Bay area. Some owners and operators of cargo vessels also admitted that they are used to discharging wastewater into the bay. Floating trash and foul smell in areas normally occupied by the vessels prompted the Environment Department to check on their waste disposal process. In Navotas, tons of trash can be seen floating right outside the fish port. Bigger vessels, meanwhile, are repairing and cleaning their facilities while at sea. The DENr is alarmed by such activities. Metal debris and other residue from the ship are seen contaminating the Manila Bay. Cargo vessel captains admit that their wastewaters go straight into the bay. They say they are not required to have their own wastewater treatment facility and that it's been a long-standing practice among these types of vessels. They say installing septic tanks immediately would be difficult since they need to dry dock first. The DENr admits current laws are outdated. Currently, vessels weighing at least 400 tons are required to have a wastewater treatment facility, while smaller boats only need designated disposal areas. The DENr is now working with the captains and the PCG on how disposal can be improved. Charles, the DENr conducted water sampling to check on the metal contents, oil and grease, and fecal coliforms in the affected areas. They expect the results to be released within a week. Charles?
Thanks for that, Shaila. That was Shaila Francisco reporting live from Manila. The Senate is dashing hopes of tackling proposals over economic charter change and the Bayanihan 3. Congress is set to adjourn session today and will resume late July in time for President Duterte's final State of the Nation address. Senate President Tito Soto raised questions over the budget sourcing for Bayanihan 3 after it passed the lower house without funding certification from the Bureau of Treasury. Soto says a workaround could be extended to the validity of Bayanihan 2 Act until the end of the year, and senators also remain cool to the idea of amending economic provisions in the 1987 Constitution.
Pero kung titimplahin ko yung mga kasama ko ayon sa aking lang opinion, meron naman sigurong majority papayag na economic amendments ang pwedeng pag-usapan. Pero para para buksain, ibig sabihin na charter change, malabo. Sa akin personally, kasi kung charter change ang pag-uusapan, ako, madugo yun eh.
A bridge connecting the business districts of Makati, Pasig, and BGC is set to be open for motorists soon. Let's get details from Gerard de la Peña. He's reporting live from Taguig. Gerard, good afternoon. How close is the bridge to completion, and when exactly will this be ready for public use?
Charles, the Ortigas-BGC link project is almost completed and it's actually ready for use as early as next week. The 4 lanes here already have asphalt overlays, and what's left here are just minor construction works as well as the painting of road markings. That's why Public Works Secretary Mark Villar did a drive-through of the project earlier this morning to check on the progress of the project. Villar said the new bridge will cater to 30,000 to 50,000 cars a day. The bridge provides access between Kalayaan Avenue and Brixton and Fairlane Streets in Pasig, thereby connecting the Makati and BGC business districts to Ortigas Business District. DPWH says this will help decongest EDSA by about 20% of its current volume. The Metro Manila Development Authority said traffic volume along EDSA has gone up to around 300,000 vehicles a day. While this is still far from the pre-pandemic volume of 405,000 vehicles a day, this is still way above the 260,000 vehicles per day capacity. This is why the upcoming opening of the bridge is seen to provide relief to many motorists. Charles, an access ramp is also being built here, and that will connect this project to, I think that's 8th Street in BGC, and that's slated to open in the 4th quarter of this year. Now, as for this portion of the project, President Duterte will open this project to the motoring public next week, June 12, and that's next Saturday. Charles.
Thanks for that, Gerard. That was Gerard de la Peña reporting live from Taguig. Twitter joins the subscription wagon as it offers paying customers exclusive features, including undoing tweets and organizing posts. Let's take a look at how Twitter Blue works in this Bloomberg Tech report.
Meantime, Twitter is out with a new option for users, and it is called Twitter Blue. It's long-awaited subscription service. The company is offering paying customers exclusive features for removing tweets and organizing posts. This all part of a push to ease the social network's reliance on advertising revenue. With me now for more, Bloomberg Tech reporter Naomi Nix, who has been covering the rollout. So, Naomi, what does Twitter Blue do, and what does it not do?
It essentially is targeted at the most prolific tweeters on Twitter's social media site. So for roughly $3 a month, Twitter Blue subscribers get access to an undo option, which means they could quickly recall a tweet that they put out there if they want to fix it or edit it in some way. They also get the option to better organize their bookmarked tweets into folders. And more easily read long Twitter threads that they may come across in their feed. And they're also going to get their customer service support claims processed more quickly. And so all those are sort of little add-on features that these subscribers will get for this fee.
Now, anyone who uses Twitter regularly has probably sent a tweet that they either regret or wish that they could edit. But this isn't quite giving users editing privileges. You can basically just recall the tweet 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds before it posts to do that. They don't go so far as to letting you edit a tweet. So I wonder, how much do you think this is really going to change the platform?
Yeah, I mean, some Twitter users have been calling on Twitter for years to allow them an edit option so that they don't have to necessarily delete their tweet, but they could just quickly edit it for, say, a typo or a small misunderstanding. But Twitter has really been reluctant to do that. They think it would change the platform, right? Think about all the sort of tweets that go viral from politicians or public figures. And if those public figures were allowed to edit a tweet, it might change the news cycle. It might have real world consequences. And so Twitter's been reluctant to do this. But what they say is this undo option will give those subscribers the ability to sort of make quick edits if they spot it right away. And so the way it works is you'll set a predetermined window in which your tweet is not visible to anyone and you can recall it. But after that window expires after, say, 30 seconds, then your tweet is just out there and your only choice is to delete it.
How much do you think this will diversify revenue? Certainly it will, but are people going to pay up for this? And I can imagine businesses, for example, will love this. And then, of course, there are power users who might be willing to fork over $3 a month.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's likely to provide like a small but consistent revenue stream for Twitter. Certainly, some of the people you mentioned, social media managers at various businesses and organizations who are, whose job it is to manage that organization's social media presence might, subscribe. Journalists might subscribe. People who get their news from Twitter all the time and who are sort of constantly pontificating on the day's news might, subscribe for something like this. And I think that's somewhat critical for the company. More than 85% of its revenue is based on advertising. And so this is one way to kind of diversify that. So it's not so, reliant on digital advertising and is a little bit protected from, the ups and downs in that market.
Spotify will soon allow podcasters to release subscriber-only content in an attempt to compete with rival Apple. Let's get details on Bloomberg Quick Take. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.